it's been quite a week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Ratan Tata's passing, it's really hit a lot of people hard. I think I can speak for both of us when I say that we've been thinking a lot about his life and his legacy.
Absolutely.
And everywhere you look, people are talking about his achievements in business, his philanthropy. But, it's easy to feel overwhelmed with all the information out there.
It really is.
So we wanted to do a deep dive today, really try to understand what made Ratan Tata such a respected figure.
Yeah.
We're going beyond just the headlines today, and we're diving into these excerpts we have from Business Today and the Times of India.
And what's striking is how much his life story is tied to India's own journey. Think about it. Born in 1937, right on the cusp of India's independence.
Yeah.
And then he rises to lead during those huge economic changes in the 90s.
It's like he was there for every single pivotal moment.
He really was.
Almost like he was meant to be a part of putting India on the world stage. I have to admit, I was really surprised to learn that he wasn't groomed from the beginning to take over the family business.
Oh, really?
He actually studied architecture at Cornell.
Interesting. Yeah, it makes you wonder how that influenced his leadership. But here's the thing. They didn't just hand him the Tata Group on a silver platter.
Right.
He started at the bottom, Tata Steel, worked his way up, proved himself every step of the way.
Which makes his eventual impact on the Tata Group all the more impressive. Taking over as chairman in 1991, that was a crucial time for India. It was just opening up to the global market.
Absolutely. High stakes. And the Times of India really gets it right. They talk about his quiet determination and his people-first approach.
Powerful combination.
It really is.
Especially in today's world, right? That kind of leadership where you have both the strength to make tough decisions and the empathy to understand the people you're leading. We could all learn a thing or two from that. So he steps into this role. And how does he handle this whole new global landscape?
Well, he wasn't afraid to be bold, that's for sure. Look at the acquisitions he made. They were game changers. Chorus Steel in 2007, Jaguar Land Rover in 2008.
Huge.
Those weren't just business deals, those were statements.
Yeah, it was like he was saying, the world needs to recognize that Indian companies are major players now, and we're here to compete. And he did it all while breaking down stereotypes, proving that Indian companies could hold their own against anyone, even acquire these iconic global brands.
Totally, totally. And those acquisitions, they really sent shockwaves through the global business world. This wasn't just about Tata growing. This was about India stepping onto the world stage as a real power player.
Right, exactly.
But it's interesting because even with all these huge international moves he was making, he never forgot about the average Indian consumer,
Yeah.
The launch of the Tata Nano, the people's car, that felt really significant.
It really did.
Yeah.
You see, for Tata, it wasn't just about, conquering the global market.
It was about serving people, understanding their needs.
Yeah.
The Nano was all about affordable mobility, making those dreams a reality. I mean, remember when it first came out? It was revolutionary. Really changed the way we thought about what a car could be.
Definitely. And that wasn't just some isolated thing. The Times of India, they called him as much a philanthropist as he is a business leader. And the more you learn about him, the more that really seems like the key to understanding his legacy, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah. It's this thread that you see throughout his life. Take the Tata Trusts, for instance.
Right.
They've been around for over a century, but when he took charge, their impact, it just exploded.
They don't just give money away. It's strategic, focused. Education, healthcare, rural development, they're tackling these massive issues in India.
Absolutely, and they're doing it in a way that really empowers those communities.
It's about lifting people up from within.
Exactly, and that's the crucial difference, right? It's not just about writing a check and walking away. It's about finding real long-term solutions that lead to lasting change. He knew that real progress meant investing in people, in their potential.
And it makes you think, in a world where so many see philanthropy as something you do on the side, especially the ultra-wealthy, Tata's approach feels, almost radical.
Yeah.
This wasn't about making himself look good. It was about this deep-seated belief in using what he had to make the world a better place.
I agree, absolutely. And he lived a remarkably simple life while doing all this.
Yeah.
The articles talk about his humility, how he avoided extravagance, even though he could have had anything he wanted. He just wasn't interested in all the fancy stuff. And I think that resonated with people.
It really does. He wasn't flashy, but the impacts he had, you can't deny that. There's this one detail in one of the articles that really got to me. It mentioned that the only two accounts he followed on Instagram were the small animal hospital in Mumbai and the Tata Trusts. if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about his priorities.
It's a small thing, but yeah, it speaks volumes. You
Right.
get this image of a man who was so connected to his values, who found joy in the simplest things, helping animals, the work of the trusts. It's really quite humanizing.
Absolutely. And it brings us back to what we're really trying to explore. What can we all learn from Ratan Tata? What is it about the way he lived, the way he led, that's still so powerful today?
And I think it's bigger than just individual lessons.
Yeah.
It's the whole picture, you know? The way he embodied his values, the way he led with compassion and a vision for the future. He wasn't afraid to make bold moves, shake things up, but there was always this sense of purpose, of responsibility behind it all.
It's like he understood that real success isn't just about, the bottom line.
Right.
It's about how you impact the world around you.
Yeah,
And that's something we can all strive for, no
absolutely.
matter what we do or where we come from.
He reminds us that integrity, compassion,
Mm-hmm.
those aren't just like corporate buzzwords.
Right.
They're at the heart of what it means to be a true leader.
Yeah.
The kind of leader who inspires people, who leaves a legacy that lasts.
It's about building a better future,
Exactly.
not just for ourselves, but for, the generations that come after us.
Absolutely.
And I think that's maybe the most inspiring thing about Ratan Tata.
Yeah.
He dealt with a really complex world, achieved amazing things,
Mm.
but he never lost sight of his own humanity.
And in a world that can feel so focused on the short term,
Yeah.
on quick wins,
Mm.
instant gratification,
Mm.
his focus on the long game, it feels almost, I don't know, visionary.
It really does.
He wasn't afraid to plant seeds, even if he might not be there to see them fully bloom.
Wow.
It's about trusting that small actions, consistent effort, that's how you create real change.
It makes you really think about the impact you want to have,
Yeah.
What seeds are we planting? What kind of legacy are we building? Those are questions we should all be asking ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ratan Tata's life, it reminds us that it's not just about how long we live,
Right.
but about how much life we pack into those years.
Well said.
And on that note, we'll wrap it up for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
As always, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.